Hi everyone. Today I'm going to explain about renal system. So what is meant by renal function? Renal function is nothing but the kidney function. So what is meant by excretion? Excretion is nothing but the process of removing harmful nitrogenous substances from the body. So here this is the rectum. So if we are removing solid waste from our body, is it called excretion? No, it is called as egestion. So the solid wastage which is removed, it is called as egestion. Excretion is removing of harmful nitrogenous substances, like in case of skin, we sweat, right? The sweat is nothing but the urea. So skin is an excretory organ where the waste harmful substances, the urea. In lungs here, we take oxygen and the carbon dioxide is removed. So lungs is also an excretory organ. Liver helps in the removal of nitrogen and kidney removes waste in the form of urine. So do not confuse excretion with egestion because solid wastes are removed during egestion, whereas excretion is removal of waste of wastes of cell activities from the body. So any upset or any like if lot of waste products are stored in our body, then it leads to buildup of substances like ammonia, urea, creatinine, which are very harmful. So that leads to serious health problems or even death. Coming to structure of kidney. So first let me talk about kidney. Kidneys are two bean shaped like structures which are like the size of a fist, and this is the cross sectional view of the kidney, where the outer layer is called as cortex, inner is called medulla, and these are the triangular shape that is called as actually renal calyx, which open into renal pelvis and which opens into ureter, and renal artery which carries pure blood into the kidneys, and renal vein is the one which carries impure blood from the kidneys. And so here in the calyx we see lot of structures like this which are not visible to the naked eye because there are millions of these structures. These are the nephrons. So each nephron looks like this. So like I said, cortex is the outer layer, medulla is the inner layer, and these are renal pyramids, and these are the major calyx, minor calyx. They open into pelvis and then to the ureter. Now coming to renal arteries. So this is the renal artery and this is the renal vein. So let me show you this picture. So what happens in the renal artery and what happens in the renal vein? So renal artery transports oxygenated blood from the heart and aorta to kidneys for filtration, and the renal vein transports the filtered deoxygenated blood from kidneys to heart through vena cava. Now what is meant by nephron? So most basic microscopic structure of kidney is nephron. There are like million of nephrons like I explained in the previous slide, which is used, these nephrons are basically used for filtration of the blood, reabsorption and secretion of certain materials. Now coming to structure of nephron. So here we can see, let me show you this diagram. Yes, so the main structures are basically the Bowman's capsule, this is the glomerulus, and this is the PCT, and this U-shaped is called loop of Henle, and this is distal convoluted tubule which opens into collecting duct and then collecting tubule, collecting duct and to pelvis. Afferent is A, right, and efferent comes later. So this is how I remember. Afferent is towards and efferent is from away. So these efferent ones also form peritubular capillaries. Okay, so now what is Malpighian body? So the Bowman's capsule and the glomerulus together is called as Malpighian body. And one more thing what I want to tell here is, if you can see, afferent arteriole is thick in size, whereas efferent is thin in the diameter is less here. This leads to high blood pressure and this leads to low blood pressure. So it maintains the blood pressure. So glomerulus develops from afferent arteriole, okay, and it gives rise to efferent arteriole. So what are the podocytes? So in the Bowman's capsule, this is the something like glomerulus. Here there are squamous cells, layer of squamous epithelial cells, and these are called as podocytes. So these are the there are like fine pores in the podocytes. So what happens here is these podocytes help in the passage of materials filtered out of glomerulus. Now coming to renal tubule. So let me again draw a basic diagram. Okay. I'm sorry about the okay. Yeah. So this is afferent arteriole giving efferent arteriole. This is glomerulus. This is Bowman's capsule. So Bowman's capsule and glomerulus together is called Malpighian tubule. Okay, and let me just do this in this color so that it's easy. So these are peritubular capillaries leading to renal vein. Now this is proximal convoluted tubule and this is loop of Henle, and this is distal convoluted tubule, and this is collecting duct. Okay, and then here is the pelvis. Pelvis leads to ureter, and all these peritubular capillaries here, they form the renal vein. So coming to steps in urine formation. So there are 4 major steps. One step is missing over here. So the first step is glomerular filtration. Second step is tubular reabsorption. Third step is tubular secretion. And fourth step is formation of hypertonic urine. So what happens in the glomerular filtration? So blood flows from blood flows from renal artery to glomerulus, and here it is filtered. So first step is there is filtration in the glomerulus, and second step is the filtrate from glomerulus is also called as primary urine, which composition is very equal to the blood but it does not have blood cells. This primary urine passes through proximal convoluted tubule, like so. See here, from the afferent arteriole, first the urine is filtered here, then the one which passes is called as primary urine in the proximal convoluted tubule. What happens here? Important things are reabsorbed, okay, into the peritubular capillaries. They are reabsorbed into peritubular capillaries like sodium, amino acids and glucose. Next, what happens in tubular secretion? So now the urine has, so first we'll learn that it is filtered in the glomerulus, then passes to proximal convoluted tubules, then whatever the important sodium, glucose, everything is sent to peritubular capillaries. Now the urine passes through loop of Henle and distal convoluted tubule. Here there are some extra salt ions like sodium, potassium and hydrogen and chlorine, which are secreted into distal convoluted tubule. Here what this does, distal convoluted tubule, is it concentrates, helps in concentration of the pH. Now 75% of the water content of filtrate is reabsorbed in proximal convoluted tubule itself. 10% of the water passes through the filtrate through osmosis in loop of Henle. So 75% is done in proximal convoluted tubule. Loop of Henle and distal convoluted tubule, here only 10% is done. But for the concentration of urine to happen, it happens in presence of a hormone called as vasopressin. And this hormone, if it's absent, it will cause dilution. So in a person, if there is deficiency of vasopressin, it leads to excessive repeated dilute urination called diabetes insipidus. Now, what is dialysis? So suppose both the kidneys are not functioning properly, then the person has to go for kidney transplant or dialysis in kidney disease. So this is how, like, let me tell you. So this is the impure blood passing through the dialyzer. So what happens is, this dialyzer acts as a blood. This actually acts like a kidney itself, but only difference is it does not have urea. So it filters, like there is a semi-permeable membrane. It is going to filter the blood, and then it through the solution, with the help of the solution, and then the pure blood, clean blood is returned to the body. So I will cover about dialysis and how the machine works and everything in the next chapter. Thank you.